everyone. Thank you so much for being here to support the groundbreaking blockchain industry in the Silicon Valley. I hope you guys will enjoy everything that happens tonight. Features, the panels, the free boba teas, and the pre-food on the way, and of course the big prize raffle. But for anyone who stay with us to the very end of this event, we offer a very special prize, so everyone can be a winner. So we have a lot of prestigious guests with us here tonight. They're investors, exchanges, executives in the traditional industries, and of course the hottest blockchain project here. So now let me introduce our first speaker. If you want to improve your FICO scores, you've got to pay attention here. Mark Greene, the former CEO at FICO, which is the company that has created the most popular credit scores in the US. Mark will talk about how he thinks blockchain can help the financial industry here. Welcome, Mark.
Good evening and welcome. It was my pleasure to join TOP earlier this summer as an advisor. All of those kind of financial institutions would love to have the kind of capability that TOP Networks is delivering now, and I'll tell you why. When transactions moved to the internet years ago, they were frustrated and are still frustrated by some of the inherent limitations of old school technology. The lack of trust and security, the lack of high throughput, the ability for people to hack into centralized databases, as we saw recently with Equifax, etc. So what TOP Networks is doing here with this blockchain network that's deploying today as we speak, and as they move 50 million users into it, is they're bringing real-world benefit to mission-critical, high-value transactions. Not just for banks, but for consumer transactions and other B2B transactions as well. I think it's a very big deal what Steve and Noah are doing here and the rest of the TOP team. I'm going to be helping them by introducing this to the US marketplace. This is an organization that's already very well known in China, but newer here in the US. So how do we get them into the right kind of banks and other corporate institutions that will use their software? How do we establish partnerships with the go-to-market organizations and system integrators that can be helpful here in the US? And how do we get a little bit of publicity, articles in leading business journals and newspapers and magazines? So that would be my work as an advisor here. I couldn't be more happy to join you all. This is actually a very big deal. I've been following blockchain technology, as many of you have, for many years. I think we're just now witnessing the arrival of industrial strength blockchain technology that will really benefit business and consumers alike. So I sort of mark this as the beginning of the next era of the distributed ledger technology or blockchain economy. And I thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much. So our next speaker, Eric Yuan, who is the CEO at Zoom and who has also been selected as the most favorable CEO in the US this year by Glassdoor. Now, welcome, Eric.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you. I'm waiting for that. Thank you. So it's a great honor to be here. Actually, the reason why I come here, actually, I know Steve many years, since 1997. And we were working together at WebEx, right? All the very core technology, very complex stuff, features done by Steve. I really admire him actually back then. And this is his first startup, right? And especially focus on the most advanced technology, blockchain, right? So when we were working at WebEx, right, we focused on the real-time collaboration system, centralized. As a data collaboration, and the company was sold to Cisco 2007. I was there for another several years, and I left Cisco WebEx, built Zoom. Essentially, Zoom is a next generation real-time collaboration solution. So how many of you are using Zoom? Oh, thank you so much. But I can tell you one thing, how to innovate, right? How to make sure that, as Mark mentioned, the trust, security is very important. I really want to learn more from Steve, right? That's why TOP Network can really help us. Also, not only help you, help all of us to learn how blockchain technology can be applied to your business. That's really important. That's very advanced stuff. And also, by the way, happen to know Mark is here, and our team happens to be working together with your team, try to deploy Zoom, and at FICO. So as after I saw your name here, I said, wow, that's so awesome. But anyway, so it's my great honor to be here, great honor to work together with Stu and work on top network. I truly believe blockchain is a great technology that can be applied to many other industries, right? Either collaboration or the financial sector, any other areas, right? How to make sure the security, trust. I think this is really something new, and I'm pretty happy. And still, you started a new company, and I'm really excited. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Eric. As Eric has mentioned, I bet you guys may have some questions for Eric and for Mark. You can scan this QR code and join in our top network WeChat group and stay connected with us industry leaders. And our next speaker, as Eric has just mentioned, has already worked with Eric at WebEx decades ago. So Steve Wei, a serial entrepreneur, and also the founder and CEO at Top Network, a very promising blockchain startup here. Welcome, Steve.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thanks for coming here, and thanks Mark and Eric for your amazing speech. Hold on, remote control. This is remote control, right? Yeah. So let me introduce. I'm glad here to have the chance to introduce the Top Network project and share a little bit about my startup experience. So, what is a Top? We invent a protocol, tell us open communication protocol, and we are developing a decentralized communication network with that protocol. So that's the name Top. Oh, sorry. So Top is a decentralized communication network, provide cloud communication service. It's a decentralized, include VPN, VoIP, video, CDN, stream. Sorry, I blocked that. I come here. Storage, messenger, streaming, IoT, many messenger service that basically can provide any communication service. Before I continue introducing Top, let me share my experience in startup. As Erica mentioned, it's my 5th time. Actually, it's the 5th time. This is my history. It's very long, 26 years. In 1991, I was a sophomore in Tsinghua University. I started a company with 3 guys, one Taiwanese guy, another guy. And the reason we started a company because my family was very poor around that time. I need to make some money for making a living. And we were doing a localized Windows 3.0. At that time, Microsoft didn't offer a Chinese version. Yeah, so we are basically using some hack technology, hacking into the Windows kernel, so make the system can display Chinese characters and enable Chinese character input. And we sold the software very expensive, 1,000 yuan around that time. Yeah, back to 1991. So we made a lot of money, and I quickly become a rich guy. I was a very poor guy in the school. Then I quickly become the richest guy in my department. That's before I graduated from Tsinghua University. And in 1995, I met Zhu Ming in Tsinghua University, and he basically invited me to come to the United States around that time. But for some reasons, I turned it down. I said, Ming, no, I don't want to go to the US. And later, I agreed to set up a team in China for Ming. That was before WebEx was even created. And Erica and me, like a founding employee, and we are poor guys, right, around that time. Yeah. But we were happy and built a great product, great service. And WebEx was a very successful company. And I left the WebEx on 2004. Erica was still there in charge of the engineer team, and I left early. And I started a company in China. The company was basically doing 2 businesses: video conference software, for enterprise, and we were also doing distance learning solution for education. And we quickly become the #1 distance learning service provider in China. And later 2010, I sold the company to Huawei, and I stayed in Huawei for about 1.5 years. And 2012, the mobile internet was very hot around that time, and I saw huge opportunity, and I think it's a lifetime opportunity. So I decided to jump in again. I decided to quit from Huawei, but the acquisition term is 3 years lockup. So I had to give up a lot of money on the table. I spent a lot of time convincing my family it's a good bet. So end of 2012, I left Huawei and started the company Dingtong. The company operated 3 communication apps, Dingtong, CoverMe, SkyVPN, with 50 million users. And the company actually is very profitable. And we went public in China in 2016. So that's the first time. And last August, I think last August, we realized decentralization, the communication should be decentralized. And if we don't do it, somebody is going to do that. And the company, the Dingtong, we will be disrupted by other players. So either disrupted by other people or either disrupted by ourselves. Obviously, we choose the latter one. So that's the reason we launched Top Network. So that's my 5th time start a new company. So it's always a start. So let me continue to introduce Top Chain, Top Network. So we are also building a blockchain platform. That's a general purpose blockchain platform. So I mentioned earlier, we are building a decentralized communication network. So you may ask why you guys are building a blockchain platform. It's a general purpose platform. Why? Because you're supposed to using an existing version, right? For example, EOS, Ethereum. We did try in 1 month. We tried many existing blockchain, especially spend many time on EOS, Ethereum. But later we quickly realized the current blockchain platform is so slow. They really cannot meet our requirement because we are doing cloud communication services. The transaction is so high. So we had to make a hard decision. In the end, we decided to build a blockchain platform by ourselves. Now it's turned out it's a really amazing decision. A lot of projects are delayed. For example, like FICO, the famous project, or Orchid Protocol, they're delayed because of this issue. They were trying to use existing blockchain platform, and it turned out it don't work. And we wasted only 1 month time. And we already have the Testnet, so that's the event we were going to announce the Testnet, right? It's a big step. So the decision to turn out is really correct. And Top Chain is designed to process real-world business on blockchain. Most of the blockchain we see today is designed for financial settlement. And financial settlement actually is kind of easy, and real-world business is more complicated. So we need a new way to design the blockchain platform. So we have several key technologies and key design. First of all, it's a service-oriented platform. As I mentioned, one chain cannot fit all. So we have a pluggable service chain architecture. If there is a new business logic to process, we will add a new service chain. And the financial settlement is separated from the business logic. Secondly, we are using 3 layers of ledger. The blockchain is 1 layer, right? And the main chain in our world is on like a main chain. We are using main chain and the service chains and the off-chain storage combined. They can process, book, and settle real-world business, millions of transactions per second. Another advantage, the Top Chain is very business friendly. For example, the transaction doesn't need to pay gas fee, and typical transactions are confirmed instantly. Most transactions in other blockchain platforms could be like several minutes, like blockchain, for example. Ethereum several seconds, too slow for real world business. And top chain is different, totally different. Yeah. So that's the top chain blockchain platform. And here is the architecture of top chain. Let's see from the bottom up. So in the underlying layer is the network layer. So we have the P2P communication network, the P2P storage network, and it's the basic blockchain platform. And the underlying network layer is provided by the miners. So we also call them service provider. We are just the technology, initial technology contributor. We are not the owner. So it's all decentralized. Means, those miners, the community, contributed the network. Beyond that, it's a service layer. It's the communication service, storage service, and the financial service. And with the API and the SDK, the DApps, the Greene layer, the DApps can access the service. And we have a decentralized marketplace, so the DApp can connect to the service provider and settle on business, settle on price. It's all decentralized. That's the old architecture. And let me introduce some use case and what kind of apps can build on top network. Basically, a developer can build any communication apps or any app with the communication features on top of network. For example, like a VPN app, a phone call app, a video call app, messenger app, a streaming app, or storage, or CDN, any kind of communication apps. And with the SDK and API, it will be very, very easy for developer build a communication app. That's the user case. And we are also building a decentralized messenger app, top messenger. You can treat it either as a WhatsApp on blockchain or WeChat on blockchain. It's truly open source, it's end-to-end encrypted, and it's truly decentralized. And nobody owns the messenger app, and nobody owns the data. So there is nobody to block you, nobody to intercept your content. It's not like a WeChat. Tencent is doing every day, right? Block people, block a group, but the top messenger is decentralized. There is no owner, so it will completely support the free speech. We are going to use this to disrupt the WeChat and the WhatsApp. Let me talk about some advantages top network has. First of all, we have a massive user base. So in the past several years, the original team, the top team, built several messenger apps, Dingtong, Kawami, Sky, VPN, with 50 million users. And those apps and the users will be transparently moved to the blockchain platform. And they are going to be the very first D apps in the top ecosystem. Means, once the top is launched, they will bring huge volume business to top. Everybody knows the current blockchain industry has a huge issue. It doesn't have users. The number of DAU on EOS and Ethereum is less than 12,000. It's a tiny number, 12,000, right, DAU. Yeah, I think Eric got several millions DAU, right? And we got the Dingtong, Sky, VPN, Kawami got several million DAU. The entire Ethereum platform has less than 12,000 DAU. So it's a huge issue. And without users, the platform, because the platform is a software, right? It's not mature, stable, reliable. So developer doesn't have confidence to build high quality apps on the platform. And another very important factor and benefit, our end users can be miners, especially our VPN users. We have 12 million VPN users, and 40% are in US. Those VPN users, as long as they are using computer, Windows, Mac, those computers can be node. They can opt in, contribute the node to the network, and the computer will receive token reward. So from the day one, immediately we will have a lot of nodes, maybe millions of nodes. So we can quickly build the ecosystem. And then it's a technical part. Let me explain some technical stuff. As I mentioned, the volume transaction in communication business is huge, huge. In centralized system, it's not such a big challenge, you know. You can always add more servers, more database, and to fix the issues. But in decentralized world, it's very different. It's a very difficult challenge. As the volume is so huge, for example, our Sky VPN app today, it needed to settle over 100,000 billing units per second because we are using 500K per unit. So overall, the top chain is designed to settle millions of service transactions. We are using several novel technologies to provide the capability and the scalability. For example, we are using multiple chain architecture, so we separate the main chain from the service chain. So main chain only handle financial settlement, and the service chain handle service business, so they are separate. And they are using different consensus mechanism. For example, the service chain, for example, the VPN service chain, we are using proof of bandwidth, aka POB. And the main chain is using PBFT DPoS consensus mechanism. It's very different. Each service chain has a different consensus mechanism. For example, storage chain is use proof of storage. And we are using horizontal scale out. Basically, we are using two-layer sharding. So account space is split in zone, and each zone has multiple shards. In this way, we can scale performance to millions. And also we are using multi-layer ledgers to store data in offline storage. This is the architecture of the main chain. As mentioned, you know, top chain has to be very fast and also needed to be very secure. And traditional blockchain are block-based. So as long as you are using blockability, there is some limitations because the block has a size, for example, 10 megabyte data. So that's causes delay, meaning, you know, transaction cannot be confirmed instantly. So we are using DAG-based data structure. It's very fast. However, DAG has its own issues. I would say it's introduced more issues than its benefit. So we are simplified the DAG data structure and using some novel technology to both get both the security and performance. Let me introduce several key technology. First of all, we are using two-layer lattice. So first of all, an account, it's all transactions under one account are organized into a macro chain. So one account, one macro chain. And the latest transaction of each account are packed into a data structure we call the unit lattice. And we are using block lattice to synchronize account state between shards, cross shards, and cross zones. And another novel technology is two-layer sharding. Sharding is not a new technology. In traditional world, people are using sharding or partition. It's widely used. However, sharding has its limit, especially in permissionless public internet. So a lot of people are claiming, for example, telecoms, they are claiming infinite sharding. I don't think it's true. So we are using a different approach. We are using two-layer sharding. So first layer is zone, and zone has multiple shards, and each shard can achieve 1,000 TPS. Another different technology we have is about the smart contract. We call it two-layer VM. You know, today, the Turing complete smart contract is not secure. For example, every day we heard the news say token was stolen because an issue in the smart contract, right? That's because the Turing complete. And so we split the smart contract into two types: platform smart contract and application level smart contract. For platform level smart contract, it doesn't support the Turing complete. So that's for security. And in application level smart contract, it supports the Turing complete language, but it cannot manipulate the financial asset. So that has the flexibility. So in this approach, we get both the security and the flexibility. And we are also 3-layer network. It's a very unique network architecture. We have the edge network, routing network, and the consensus network. So the edge network is used to protect the consensus network. Means a client cannot directly connect to the consensus node. And the IP address of the consensus node is not exposed. So that's a way to reduce the chance of being attacked, especially DDoS attack. In the core of the top network, it's the P2P communication network. Let me introduce one technology we call the smart routing. Smart routing can intelligently search the best routing path between any two nodes. Sometimes the direct connection is not the best way. Let me give you an example. A node in China and a node in India. If two nodes connected directly, the connection is very, very slow. However, if we found an intermediate node in Singapore, and the China node connected to the Singapore node first, and the Indian node also connected to the Singapore node, then the entire connection will be very fast and stable. So that's the smart routing technology. Now let me introduce the team. This is 5 core team members. And the Noah, he is the money guy, CFO, and the CEO. And the other folks, including me, are pretty well-versed people, right? We were colleagues with Eric for many, many years. And especially Peter, Kevin, and me, we were very early employee. And as you can see, from here, the core team has a very, very strong technical background in the communication, cloud computing, and the network security area. And we are also very good in cryptograph. I mentioned we have the Cover Me app. So the Cover Me app is the first end-to-end encryption messenger in the whole world. We were before than Signal. We were before than Telegram. And you know what? Initially, Telegram copied some idea from us. We released Cover Me on early 2013, and the Telegram guys, they released like 6 months later, and they quickly copied some of our features. So we are good at the cryptograph, and we are good at the communication. And that's the reason we can develop a blockchain platform very well. And we also have a very impressive investor, list of investor. We got a tier 1 token fund like Fenbusi, DHVC, NGC, and LD Capital, and also Ontology. Ontology is the most successful project this year. And we also have a traditional VC fund. And we also have high-profile individual investor like Gong Hongjia. He is the co-founder of Hikvision, Haikang Weisi. And another interesting person is Wu Yongming. His nickname is Wuma. He is the co-founder of Alibaba. So as you can see, we got a really good list of investors. And what is our mission? We are going to build a public network infrastructure for any communication and social apps. So as a comparison, I list the EOS, IPFS here. So EOS probably is the infrastructure for D apps, and the IPFS is the infrastructure for file storage and distribution. And the top, its mission is provide an infrastructure for communication and social apps. So that's our mission. And here's the roadmap. Now we are going to officially launch the Testnet. Testnet is a big milestone in the blockchain industry. So let's watch a video first before I continue.
Testnet is deployed in 6 locations with 192 nodes. The entire top blockchain platform is a 3-layer network: edge network, routing network, and consensus network. Edge network relays transactions. Routing network audits transactions and manages shards. Consensus network verifies transactions. Transactions initiated by clients go through edge network and routing network before reaching consensus network. This process can perfectly protect nodes on the consensus network against malicious attacks. Routing network consists of advanced nodes. Consensus network consists of consensus nodes that are selected to form multiple shards. Each zone contains multiple shards. When a zone is added to the system's overall capacity scales out. So how is a shard formed? Nodes on the consensus network are randomly selected by DPoS and VRF algorithms to make up a shard. Shards use a PBFT algorithm to reach consensus on transactions. Advanced nodes audit and sign the transaction before it gets the final confirmation. Multi-layer random selections can ensure the security of transactions. Transactions are confirmed in less than 1 second. Compared to EOS, TOP is genuinely decentralized and able to provide much higher TPS. We will launch TOP mainnet in the first quarter of 2019. Stay tuned. TOP enables real-world businesses on the blockchain.
It's an amazing video, right? A big step toward our missions and enable real-world business on blockchain, not only financial settlement. So here's the roadmap. So the testnet was launched as planned. We initially planned, that's almost 1 year ago, initial plan on Q3 of this year, launch a testnet. Yeah. So we have the strong confidence to launch the mainnet on next year, Q1, end of Q1 or early Q2 around that time. We have the resource, we have the people to do that. So the testnet right now has 3 zones and 6 shards. Each shard has 20 nodes. And we achieved over 1,000 TPS in a single shard. And the overall testnet can provide 7,000 TPS. It's very high. And the typical transaction are confirmed in less than 1 second. The testnet is deployed in 6 locations on the public internet. Again, we are doing a permissionless, truly decentralized blockchain, not like a EOS 21 node. It's basically half decentralized, partially decentralized. We have implemented most of the key technology we outlined in the white paper, like a 3-layer network, 2-layer lattice stack, and 2-layer sharding, and the BPFD DPoS consensus mechanism. As the video shows, we have the most secure network architecture for a blockchain, public blockchain. Edge network, routing network, consensus network. Hold on. It doesn't work. You have to use this hand. And we support real horizontal scale out. As I mentioned, we are using 2-layer sharding. And mentioned earlier, we are using a simplified version of DAG data structure. And we have the unit lattice and the block lattice. The consensus mechanism we are using is the PBFD DPoS. So the S in the DPoS usually means stick. However, we are using a different concept. We call it comprehensive stack. That include a node's computing power, network capability, and the deposit. and its reputation. Traditional deposit or pos, the S means a stake, the deposit, and that's not secure enough. So our PBFD deposit is more secure and will offer high performance than traditional POS deposit consensus mechanism. So before we can launch the mainnet, we still have several remaining tasks. First of all, we will full-scale deploy the testnet in 10 zones, and each zone will have 100 shards. So overall, it will have like several thousand nodes. And we are going to implement smart contract. You know what? Most of the database blockchain doesn't support a smart contract. For example, like IOTA, Nino, Byteball, and a few other new database blockchain. Because to support a smart contract on database chain, it is very challenging. But we are going to implement that. And there are also on-chain governance and token economics, several other things. And we have a talented and hardworking team, and the team has over 50 core developers, and the entire team has over 100 people. So in blockchain world, this is a pretty big team. Most of the team has a single-digit number of people, right? So with this result, that's the reason we can move the project so quickly, and we can doing several things simultaneously. Now, I would invite Noah to introduce the bounty program for TopNet Testnet.
Thank you everyone for being on time today. And as Steve has just mentioned, I'm Noah. I'm the money guy. So let's talk about money, which might be the most exciting session today. And so you can see that we are recruiting officially 100 test nodes. So each node can win up to $1,000. You must be very curious, and what kind of devices I need and to win the $1,000? Actually, it's very simple. So average device can be our test node. Yeah, so here you can see that there are only 4 steps and to become a test node. Very simple. So after you submitting an application and get approval, our colleague will contact you, and you will have interaction with each other, and you will be led and to get $1,000. Yeah. So, but it's very rare. It's first come, first serve, and only 100 knows. And so maybe you want to act now and to win the $1,000. And but no worries, if you don't get a reward in this round, and we will have a different bounty program that's going on between now and our mainland launch until next January or next Q1. And you will have a higher chance to win in the upcoming rounds if you apply in this round. And here's the link and to know more about the detailed rules. And or you can scan it. It's more easier. And I think most of you use WeChat, and you can just scan it and to learn more about our blockchain technology and our bounty program. So besides the $1,000 bounty program, and we also have another easier program. Actually, the program I just mentioned was easy enough, but this one is even easier. And you can see, and the total reward is 1 million bounty tokens. You might wondering, and actually you might be wondering how much money is it worth, right? And for most of you might know that we're in the bear market in the crypto world. But if you look at the Ethereum today and transfer it to our token, and 1,000 top token equals maybe $5. So there are still maybe $5,000 in this bounty round. And as the market goes up, and you earn more money. And so there are 3 ways and to earn the easier bounty program. And so first of all, you can just go to our Testnet website and apply for a wallet. And the wallet will be attached to our bounty bot and in our Telegram group. And you will find out more about our bounty program and earn more money. Or you can invest your friends and to make a transfer on Testnet, very easy. And the more friends you invite, and the more tokens you will earn. Or you can just get extra token rewards if you transfer between different wallets every day. So not very difficult. And there's no real money involved because you see it's our Testnet. Okay, you may want to scan the QR code and at the bottom right hand of the screen. So, and here's a bigger one, and more information can be found on this website. So, very easy. And maybe I'll hand over the microphone to our MC because you see, and this one might have to wait for maybe another 1 or 2 days, and our MC will introduce you a very exciting immediate reward today. And here it comes.
Thank you so much, Noah, and thank you so much, Steve. Yes, actually you don't have to wait until the bounty program to start to win real money here. So probably the most exciting part of tonight, the big raffle time. Please use WeChat to scan this QR code so that you can participate in this raffle, and we'll announce the result by the end of this event. But just as I promised in the very beginning, anyone who stays with us to the very end of this event, we offer a very special gift. So don't worry if you're not on the list. Now, as you can see, there's a great panel on the way. So now I'm going to welcome Ida Gao, the general partner of DDC Fund and the moderator of our next panel. And our prestigious panelists will include Dr. Stu Xu, manager partner of Amino Capital, Dovey Wan, founding partner of Primitive Ventures, Debbie Chen, founder of MOAC, and Steve Wei, founder and CEO of Top Network. Now the floor will belong to Ida and the panelists.
So we all know we're in a bear market right now as it relates to crypto. If you guys checked your Coinbase wallets, it's probably not doing too well. So to the VCs on the panel, what are you guys investing in? Are you guys still investing in companies? If so, what are the types of interesting companies that you guys are investing in? Still doing ICOs, or are we moving to security tokens? And then for the projects, how are you guys kind of weathering the storm from a project perspective?
So I can talk about it. So being like an investor, being through like multiple cycles, and I think like 2017 is very much like 2013 when like the BTC price like just like soon bump into like over like 1,000 and then just drop down like just 200ish. And I think like bearish is also like a relatively term, and so depending on what's your cost basis. So I think for us, and just like first of all, because we have been through like multiple cycles, and so and then so we know like when it comes to bear cycle, like it's actually the best time for like it's actually the best time for like new to make new investment, because like VC has a more just from investor perspective, like you have like more negotiating power, and so especially like during like hype market, and so the signal to noise ratio is pretty pretty low, so you will see a lot of like bogus and just like morons like running blockchain like projects out there, like they can like just like blockchainize everything. And so I think like nowadays, and so whoever can sustain, and then so like whoever can just persist, and then so other people who are like has a relatively deeper belief, and so in the whole ecosystem. So I think it's actually pretty good timing for us to make investment. And like just like last like .com bubble, right? So like Amazon and like Google just survive and thrive. So like that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think I'm very happy for those projects out there raising a lot of money earlier, because for blockchain, you only have this one chance. You are designing a nuclear bomb, and then you launch your protocol, it's open source. And in the meantime, what is the incentive for the team to actually continue to work on the project? That's a very big challenge. And I've seen a lot of teams that actually really working on execution, and that's a very good sign. And those projects, oftentimes, they raise a lot of money, and then before this winter, blockchain winter, and that's one thing. I feel happy for them, but of course, those companies that actually about to launch ICO or those type of things, and when we invest in them, we were not even talking about ICO. I mean, it goes back to the basics. Is the unit economics really working? If it's not, and then we just invest in you as a regular company. And then equity versus token, I think it really depends on the token economics. So we've invested in a lot of companies that focusing on better tool for web assembly or for better verification or security check and those type of developer tool. And also, there is always trade-off between security and performance. So far, a lot of people don't have confidence in blockchain because of such kind of trade-off. So we are very excited about those projects who actually break such kind of trade-off and work on both security and also performance. So those are the two areas of necessity. If you believe in blockchain will be around in the next 2 to 5 years, there are so many problems are well defined. So that's why you see a lot of very good top talents coming out and start a company.
So basically, if you raise a lot of money, especially second half of 2017 and early half of 2018, you probably a different mindset. So basically, the logic at that time is you got a lot of token, you got a lot of money, and what you want to do first step is you get your token listed in the major exchange, and you've got all kind of liquidity. And so the early investors can cash out, and so the project developers, they have own easy way to exit, but that put the project actually in a dangerous situation because their focus is no longer on the best interest is no longer to move the project moving forward because they can already exit. What's the reason to working hard for another year or another 2 years to exit at the same value, right? So that's kind of, the scenario we've seen for the last half a year to 1 year. I remember I'm in a similar panel early January. All the other panelists are very optimistic, but I'm kind of pessimistic, about what the market will go to, because I'm really technical focused. I know what, blockchain project on the market, what they like. So for us, we did ICO last July, and we didn't raise too much. We think, a lot of money probably don't give us too good, and we don't want to go to the exchange, spend money on that. We rather want to spend most of our efforts on development. And now, over 1.5 years, we delivered pretty much everything we promised in the ICO. We launched our mainnet at April. We provide all the features we promised, and we are working really hard towards the next step to bring a lot of applications on our platform. So, but now we are in a bear market. I think it's, for projects like us, I think there are many of them, top network. So, bear market would probably be a good one for those application developers really focus on technology.
I think little impact, but we are okay list the token later, and maybe we can list the token after the mainnet is launched, right? So it's totally fine to us.
Yeah, I think one of the keys is to make sure that the incentives are aligned, the vesting schedules and of the team members, et cetera, are aligned so that there's incentives to continue working, especially after you raise the capital. I used to work at NEA, which is one of the largest VC funds in the world, and I think you will see a lot of companies in the ICO space kind of go back to traditional venture, which is milestone raising, as Davi put it, and having seed rounds, Series A, Series Bs, and being able to raise capital is dependent on how much traction you get from round to round.